What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to take a look at the best Blitz teams that we can make right now. All of these teams can beat Blitz on 8.3. Of course it's not going to be all of them against the Black Order, but some of them can do it. So if you find the information on this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing, and by the way, make sure you smash that like button. It always helps me out when you do that. So yeah, we are going to take a look at all the teams that we have available on Blitz, and a few changes that I did compared to last month, and I'm going to explain the reasons why only on the teams that had a slight change. Okay, so starting off with the Trashtron, we have Ultron with Drax, Nebula, and Vulture and Shocker. This team is good, and of course it beats on 8.3, but the situation is that Vulture right now doesn't have a home, Shocker doesn't have a home as well, and Nebula doesn't have a home or even a team. And all of these characters are villain tech, so they work very well together with Ultron, of course. And Drax is here because we need that early protection that Drax provides with his taunt. And yeah, thanks to it, this team works very well. So that's the first team, Trashtron. Then we have the Marauders with the Blob. We already know this team for a while, amazing on Lance Wars defense. And next we have the Symbiotes. The Symbiotes, in terms of positioning, you want to have Scream in one corner and Venom in the other one, just to make sure that she survives and that he doesn't take too much damage, so you get that defense up. Then we have the Inhumans, nothing new about these guys. Then we have the Black Order, and the Black Order, it has a few changes. Usually I would have Proxima Midnight in the middle. Now I changed Corvus for the middle and Thanos to the second on the right. And that's because I noticed that Proxima in the middle, she would take too much attention from the enemies and she would die quite easily. And especially against the Marauders, it's important that she survives so you can stun Mr. Sinister. So because of that, I decided to change the team a little bit in terms of positioning of these three characters in order to make sure that Proxima survives as long as possible. The same way we removed Thanos from Call of Obsidian next to him, so he doesn't get the ability block. So this is minor improvements that sometimes we have to do against specific matchups, and other matchups it doesn't affect so much. So yeah, that's the Black Order version November 2020. Now we have the Brotherhood with the Sabretooth. If you want to put Blob here or the Sabretooth on the Marauders, it's the same thing. They are similar in terms of quality, but I think like this it's better for what the teams do best. The other one is better for protection, this one is better for damage, because Toad can extend all the bleeds that Pyro and Sabretooth does or do. Then we have the Asgardians, and the Asgardians, I also changed their positioning a little bit. I put Sif in the middle, and like this we are going to make sure that the taunt is exactly in the middle. This is not so great against the Symbiotes, but against every other team it's slightly better. And like this, it grants that Thor gets as many charges as possible. And it's not a terrible thing, like even if Hela gets the ability block, if Thor can do his ultimate way more often, that's going to be more damage output, so it's not a terrible option. It's just about the heal block, but once again it depends. They lose anyway against the Symbiote, so it's not like it's going to make a huge deal. Then we have the Mercenaries, they are exactly the same as we had last month. Then the Wave 1 Avengers, I think they are exactly the same as they were before. Now we have the Uncanny X-Men, and right now this team is, like always, very powerful. We have Phoenix, Colossus and the Cyclops. On their own they can beat almost anyone on Blitz 8.3, so I decided to put these two trash characters that have high power. So like this I make a little bit more points on Blitz, and the team wins anyway. Right now the Phoenix has some bugs because she's not Uncanny X-Men, or she's not X-Men or something like that. So she's not getting as much buffs as she usually gets. but supposedly this is some bug, so hopefully you'll get this fixed soon. Then we have the Ultimus Tech, Ultimus Cree, or whatever you want to call it. It's the same as before. This team is quite powerful, especially on Alliance Wars offense. They are quite strong against some meta teams. We are going to talk about this in another video. Then Defenders, we already know all about the Defenders. Then we have the Sinister Six, and from my experience, this is the best positioning for the Sinister Six if you are not using Swarm on this team. So you want Lady Electro, Dr. Octopus, and Rhino. Like this, you are applying speed on Rhino and on Lady Electro, and also regeneration and whatever. And that's good because Rhino, of course, he tanks sometimes, but the speed up is nice for him as well because he does massive amount of damage, and the same goes for Lady Electro. Then we have Mysterio here. Mysterio is just fine, he can stay in the middle because after he spawns, you want him to die so you can bring him back once again, so he applies the deflects once again. And Green Goblin is here far away from the taunt to make sure that he can dispel as often as possible. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this team, and this team can beat quite easily Black Order Punch Across, so that's pretty good. Now we have the Guardians. I just made a small changes. I transferred Gamora from this spot to this one to make sure that Mantis can heal up Groot, and we just have Groot in one corner, so all the splash damage will go for Mantis and no one else. So it was just a minor improvement. Then I brought back this team, the aim with Swarm. Before I had the Vulture here, or I'm not even sure if you saw that version of the team, but Vulture on this team, he works very well because of all the negative effects. But instead of having Vulture, I had the Vulture Swarm, Scientist Supreme, Aim Assaulter, and Graviton. That team was really powerful, but it only beated a few meta teams, and like this, they beat a little bit more teams instead. So instead of 4, it's like 6 teams, so it's slightly better like this. And yeah, I really enjoy this team. So Aim Security, Scientist Supreme, Aim Assaulter giving turn meter to Graviton and Scientist Supreme, and then Swarm getting negative effects, but then flipping them into positive effects and doing massive damage thanks to it. Then we have the Supernatural, nothing new about this team. Then we have the Fantastic Four. We already saw this team last month with She-Hulk between those two guys, so all the splash damage will result in retaliation attacks. Then we have the Young Avengers, nothing new about these guys. Then we have the X-Force, also nothing new about these guys, exactly the same as last month. And now we have X-Men with Beast. And the reason why I have X-Men with Beast and why Beast is not here, it's because on MSF.gg, by the way, make sure you check their website, because whenever you have Beast here, the website bugs and it doesn't allow you to save the team or something like that. So I decided to use Ravager Stitcher in order to mark Beast, because they are both blue and they are both healers. But this team is actually pretty decent, especially now with ISO 8. You have End Sentry. I was using slightly different team with some AIM characters and it was also winning, but I decided to put these 4 X-Men here, and yeah, the team works very well. It wins on Blitz 8.3, and that's what you want. Okay, then we have the Power Armor, nothing new about this team, exactly the same as before. Then we have Baron Zemo, and Baron Zemo, it has small changes from last month. So we still have Crossbones, Baron Zemo, and Namor, but now we have Kingpin and Bullseye. Bullseye is just like whatever, it's just because he's a villain mercenary, so he's together with Kingpin and with the other guys. Now what's interesting about Kingpin on this team is that if you summon the minions and the minions stay next or adjacent to Baron Zemo, they will get downed, but they will also get a massive amount of dodges, and that insanely increases the survivability of your team, which is really amazing. And you can play around with the ultimate, giving defense up and offense up to your characters. So depending if you want to use your ultimates right away or not, you might end up doing massive amount of damage. But either way, the team already does massive amount of damage, especially in Alliance Wars. This team also wins on Blitz 8.3. Like all these teams win on Blitz 8.3. But yeah, this makes a very interesting combination. And on Alliance Wars, Kingpin really comes through with the minions and with the offense up, and makes this team even better. Like I said before, like Bullseye is the only one that doesn't do much here. So if you want to replace Bullseye for the either Grenadier or Winter Soldier, that's going to work out as well, because the core of the team is these 4 guys over here. Then we have the Shield team, nothing new about this team, the same as before. Then we have the Kree Minions, the same as before in terms of positioning and everything. Red Skull Hydra, the same as before, nothing new about the positioning. And now we have a Pingolim. Pingolim is Matraquilho. This is a joke for the Brazilian viewers, and maybe the Portuguese ones will get as well. So yeah, we have the new team available in the game, and that will allow us to do some funny stuff. So when this girl, she's the protector stature, when she's not tanking, or when she goes below 50% health, she'll give taunt to Ant-Man. So I decided to leave one on each corner and leave Wasp in the middle, because Wasp is kind of the most useless character here. Even though she has a percentage dodge and so on, she doesn't have much more utility. Now both Ghost and Yellow Jacket, they have ways of doing lifesteal. Some of them for the entire team, some of them for themselves. But because these guys have the highest sustain and they have a little bit higher stats and so on, I decided that this was going to be the best positioning, but I'm still not 100% sure this is like my 80%, 85% or 90% guaranteed positioning. That is the best one. But yeah, I'm gonna still put a few more hours thinking about this team, like brainstorming, and see what we can talk about it for the upcoming video about the Dark Dimension 4. But yeah, so far right now I think this is the best positioning, and yeah, I think this team has a lot of potential for Dark Dimension 4, but I'm not sure if it has much potential outside of that. Continuing, and this is the last team. We have Open Borders Latveria. So yeah, like the Wakanda, they are trash, they have nowhere to go, so why not put them together with the most powerful character that is available in the game right now. So the same way use the trash of the Sinister Six in order to make a team with Ultron, we are exactly doing the same with the Doctor Doom and the Wakanda. So yeah, this is the last team that we have for this month. This team obviously is going to be great, not only because of Doctor Doom, but because these guys, they are not terrible, they work okay. Okoye assists Black Panther and M'Baku quite often, and this one is here just as a filler, so whenever this guy taunts, the enemies can't chain to Black Panther. But I doubt that this team will have any problems in Blitz or anything like that because of Doctor Doom, of course. But for most people, this guy will only be available in the future, so this is just something to have in terms of the future. So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the best Blitz teams for the month of November of 2020. You can find this list always early on my Discord server. And yeah, once again, you can use these teams for Blitz on 8.3. Any of these teams can beat Blitz on 8.3. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button like a boss. If you found information on this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing, and I will catch you guys later.